was built to last with the whims and the weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop coming.
Hello, friends. In this clip, we are going to discuss the poem My Mother at 66. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. Doors open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse. The explanation: the poet had gone to visit her parents' home and she was driving to Cochin on Friday morning. So here important thing is she was driving to Cochin on Friday morning. While she was going towards the airport, she suddenly noticed her mother was sleeping beside her in the car. Her mother's mouth was open. The mother's face was pale and lifeless, just like a dead body. Here, comparison has been done using like, which is a simile. It perhaps expressed the pain she felt because of the separation from her daughter. The mother of the poet was separated from her daughter, means the poet. Next stanza. And realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at the young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. Explanation: the poet was alarmed by the sudden realization that her mother had turned old. It was such a reality that she could not accept. She felt it very hard to accept that her mother had become old. The poet was pained to see her mother's colorless, pale face. Next, to divert herself from the disturbing thought, she looked outside the car. As the car was moving, the young green trees appeared to be running in the opposite direction. She also saw a group of children rushing out of their homes to play. All this probably reminded of her childhood days when her mother was pretty young. The young sprinting trees represented how fast time had flown by. The children represented youth, which was full of life and energy. Both the young trees and the children represented a sharp contrast to the mother sitting beside her, who was old and suffering from ill health. Stanza 3. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon. Explanation: the young children and trees were able to divert the thoughts of the poet, but it was momentarily. After reaching the airport and passing through the security check, the poet again looked at her mother, who was standing a few yards away from her. Her mother looked lifeless and dull, like a late winter's moon, which cannot be seen clearly because of mist and fog. So the poet again realized with pain that her mother had turned old. Here again, comparison has been done using as, which is a simile. Stanza 4. And felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma." All I did was smile and smile and smile. Explanation. While the poet was going away and leaving her mother, her old familiar pain, her childhood fear that she would one day lose her mother suddenly came back to her. But she tried to hide her emotions behind a smile. She did not want to reveal her feelings to her old mother and bade her farewell with a smile. She gave a hope to her mother and herself by saying that they would meet again and kept on smiling. Thus, the poem represents the theme of aging. It reveals that aging is a natural process, and as one grows old, with it comes to our mind the fears of death. Though harsh, we have to accept the reality that with the progress of time, we all shall become old and eventually die. Dear friends, this is the end of the clip. If you have liked it, please do like, share, and subscribe.